is Robin, and welcome inside Robin's World. Um, it's been a rough couple of weeks. I haven't posted in a couple of weeks. I ended up with some kind of chest cold, head cold mixture kind of thing. I felt horrible. I couldn't talk, which made work a lot of fun. I'm a nurse. You have to talk when you're a nurse. So I didn't do any recording during that time. So finally started feeling better in time to go on a weekend road trip, see the grandbabies. And so I didn't do any filming that weekend either. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun though. Those grandbabies are amazing. So then came back and work was crazy. Work's amazing because you never know. One day you're gonna go home at, after you've worked 2 hours, and the next day you may be there 12, which is what I did this week. So bottom line, I didn't do any videos. Also in the middle of all that, I was marathon training still. My marathon is tomorrow. I've been packing all day. I am terrified that I won't be able to finish. I think I can. A friend of mine at work told me 2 things. Finish and don't be last. Anyway, I'm just going to do kind of a little, since I did a unhaul video, I'm going to do a haul video this time, and just kind of go over a few books that I've got recently, and that's about it. So let me put my glasses on because I can't see without them. I told my husband I should have named this Grandma's Booktube channel instead of Inside Robin's World, because I'm Grandma and I've got to always wear my glasses. Okay, so I got this from Amazon not too long ago. I've been watching that PBS Top 100 Books thing. That's not the name of it, but and this guy was on there, Jason Reynolds. And so a friend of mine at work was just going on and on. She wanted this book, wanted this book, wanted this book. And I got tired of waiting on her to buy it, so I bought it and gave it to her to read first because I knew I didn't have time to read it yet. And she read it and loved it. Let me put my glasses back on. I'll tell you what she said about it. We kind of do this thing at work. When we read each other's books, we either leave a note or we write a note on the inside of the book. So she says, "This is a phenomenally written, impactful book. Even if you're not his target audience, which Jason Reynolds makes clear with the language and situations surrounding the story, you can easily identify with the lessons to be learned, be accountable for your choices, be aware that those around you may have more in common than you think, and more importantly, take the opportunity to turn something negative into something positive. Absolutely could not put this book down, and I look forward to the rest of the series." So I finished The Outsiders and immediately started this. I'm not very far into it yet, but it is really well written. And then what was funny about it is when I started this, I was laying in bed reading, and I was like, Jason Reynolds, I think I've read one of his books. And so I looked it up real quick, and sure enough, The Boy in the Brown Suit was written by Jason Reynolds, and it was a literary swag book of the month. I think it was my first one that I got, and it sounds depressing because his mom had died, and not this one, The Boy in the Brown Suit, which I'd show you, but I took it to my friend Paula so she could read it. His mom had died, and so he was going to funerals. He started working for the funeral home, and he started going to funerals, and it was just really, but it was an uplifting, happy book, even with the kind of dark, depressing underlying story there. But anyway, I'm enjoying this. I'll let you guys know what I think when I'm done, but middle grade book for the win. Next is my last couple of book of the month picks. November Road. I plan on reading this in November because it's called November Road. So let's see what it's about. It's written by Lou Berney, and Who's the publisher? Let me look. William Morrow is the publisher. Frank's luck has finally run out. A loyal lieutenant and New Orleans mob boss, Carlos Marcello, one of the most powerful and dangerous men in America, Guidry, has learned that everyone is expendable, and now it's his turn. He knows too much about the crime of the century, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. So I won't read all that to you, but I thought it sounded like it would be an interesting read, so that's the one I picked last month. And then this month, I almost didn't pick one this month. I almost just skipped it because, I don't know. But I ended up going with An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. And the publisher for this one is Dutton. So let's see. Roaming through New York City at 3 a.m., 23-year-old April May stumbles across a giant sculpture. Delighted by its appearance and craftsmanship, like a 10-foot-tall transformer wearing a suit of samurai armor, April and her best friend Andy make a video with it, which Andy uploads to YouTube. The next day, April wakes up to a viral video and a new life. News quickly spreads that there are Carls in dozens of cities around the world, from Beijing to Buenos Aires, and April, as their first documentarian, finds herself at the center of an intense international media spotlight. On and on. So I'm assuming a Carl is the sculpture. So I love anything about New York City. I've only been there a couple of times, but I love New York City, so I thought I'd go with that one. So the book of the month for Literary Swag is A Lucky Man by Jamel Brinkley. I don't recognize that. Let me see who the publisher is. A Public Space Book, Grey Wolf Press. So this is 9 powerful stories set in Brooklyn and South Bronx. A lucky man announces the arrival of a significant new voice in fiction, Jamel Brinkley. With incisive and nuanced prose, explores the charged, complex ties between men who mistakes threaten their relationship with friends, lovers, families, and family members. So Yadon always writes a little something in my book to tell me hi. I'm assuming he does that for everybody. I don't know that I'm that special, but this time he said, "Robin, I'm excited to know what someone as brilliant and honest as you thinks about this book. Hope you enjoy it. Love, Yadon." So obviously Yadon knows me very well because he knows I'm brilliant. I don't know how brilliant I am, but I am very honest. So just like little stories, different stories. So I'll get started on this one pretty soon. Book club meeting is on Facebook, and it's usually towards the end of the month. So I like to watch that. There's not a lot of interaction if you don't live in, if you're not there at the actual book club meeting, but I like to watch it and see what everybody's opinions are. So Literary Swag Book of the Month. Look that up if you haven't done that. And while we were down visiting the grandbabies, we were doing my long run for the weekend, which, thank God, at this point was only 4 miles. No, that wasn't my long run. That was just a run. Anyway, they had one of those little libraries, and I didn't get any video of that, but they had one of those little libraries beside the deal. And so in the middle of the run, I told my husband, wait, I want to go over and see if there's any books. And I found this one, Dean Koontz, Relentless. I really like Dean Koontz. My husband is even a bigger fan than I am of Dean Koontz. And so I picked this one. And let's see, who's this publisher? Phantom Books. This is an older one, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it was published in 2009. So don't know anything about it, but there is a brilliant 6-year-old named Milo in there, and my grandson's name is Milo. So I tend to collect anything with Milo in it or Isla in it because those were my 2 favorite people in the world. So, so little book library, little library find right here. So went to Amazon bookstore and everyone has seen this one everywhere on BookTube, but The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, however you say that, by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one just looks like fun, and to be honest, I've been reading a lot of serious stuff. Atria, Washington Square Press, Atria is the publishers. Anyway, this one just looks like fun. It's a reclusive Hollywood icon. Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. So I haven't started this yet, but I'm going to read this one pretty soon because, like I said, I just kind of want something fun and easy to read. And last but not least, I bought other books too while I was there, but they were more like books for the grandkids that I left at their house. And my daughter, I bought my daughter a cookbook, and of course it's at her house too. So, but this one is called Rose's Baking Basics, and I didn't have an oven for years and years and years. It was broke. I had a stovetop, so I mean, I'm not like, I wasn't cooking out in the fireplace or anything like that. But so I'm not a great baker. I've never baked anything really that I can think of from scratch. It's always box stuff. So this is a basic cookbook, and hopefully she will be able to teach me how to bake. All right, so this is the one I want to try first. Triple Lemon Velvet Bundt Cake. Doesn't that sound delicious? So I'll let you guys know how that goes. Like I said, I'm not a great baker. Not a great cook in general. I don't really enjoy it most of the time, but so anyway, that's all I have to say about that. So we'll just move on. That's all the books I've got so far. Well, I shouldn't say so far. Recently, that's all the books I've bought, and I will let you guys know how that marathon goes tomorrow. Again, I'm terrified. Don't know why I signed up for this, but after tomorrow, it's something I can mark off my to-do list. Get me a great big old tattoo that says 26.2 miles. Yeah, I don't know if I really do that. I don't have any tattoos, so that's all I have. Thanks, and let me know if you've read any of these books, if you think I need to read one before the other one, if you've ever heard of this Rose. What's her name? Rose Levy Birnbaum. If you've ever seen her anywhere, if you've tried any of her recipes, and if you've ever ran a marathon, let me know. Comments below. Thanks. Bye.